No dirty talk, just podcasts. No turn-ons, so turn me on. By that I mean this podcast. I'm not interested, so don't date me. Review me, just rate me. Like, subscribe, don't date me. Review me, just rate me. Like, subscribe, don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Alexa, play the podcast Don't Date Me.
Okay, speaking of which, follow us on Instagram at @It'sJamieSparks and Twitter at @It'sJamieSparks.
Wait, is it?
At @It'sJamieSparks.
Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me.
I thought that click track was gonna just carry on.
What is the click track?
Right, so we're using.
Is it a timer?
Yeah, well, it's like we're using Logic Pro to record the episodes, and I've set it up so it's got a click track at the start. But I think I must have changed it so it does a longer click track. So for a second there, I thought we were just going to have to do the whole podcast with a click track through the whole thing. Do podcast. Oh, speaking of which, welcome to the podcast. You are listening to Don't Date Me. And if you listened to last week's episode where we had Chris on, Chris is actually going to be writing us a jingle.
Oh.
And so the other day he was using my iPad and he was using GarageBand and he was just going for it. And then he asked me and Sarah if he could like edit together like samples of our voices.
Exciting.
So yeah, so I think that should be on next week's episode, hopefully. It should be pretty funny.
Can the chorus be like, it's Jamie Sparks? Think like Alexis vibes.
Oh my god. Oh, right. I'm going to send him a clip of that.
It has to be like that.
Yeah.
And the whole like chorus has to just be like...
What's the name of that song again?
A Little Bit Alexis.
A Little
Are you
Bit
joking?
Alexis,
It was
yeah.
from our hit reality TV show. Are you even a fan? Oh, we're not even friends anymore, Jamie. What is going on?
So, just so you know, I am Jamie. I'm a 37-year-old, 6'4" bisexual man and closeted Christian. I enjoy long hikes and I really want to meet your mum. And I speak limited French.
That's better than no French.
Je suis fatigué.
Sure.
Oui.
What if...
J'adore le fromage.
Cheese?
Et toi?
Was that cheese?
Oui.
Ah!
Très bien.
There we go. I basically speak French myself. I'm
I
impressed.
don't speak French. I let the funky music do the talking.
Was French what you were learning when we worked together?
Yes. Do
Yeah,
I
'cause
speak?
You used to say stuff,
I did.
but you would just cheat on your phone though, wouldn't you?
Sometimes. No, but sometimes I would
every time.
Do you remember that?
Every time.
Sometimes I'd say it to do the tannoy to customers. I'd be like, bonjour. And then there was a couple of times where people would speak back in French and I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying to me.
You'd be like, yeah, we were just having fun.
Having a bit of
And
banter.
now you've spoiled it.
You've ruined the fun.
Drive to the next window.
Yeah, so who are you?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, hey. I'm Lindsay, an almost 30-year-old mum of one super awesome kid.
I don't know why you're laughing. Because she is, she's
I
awesome.
paused at the wrong bit, that's why. She is actually, she's the coolest person.
Also, turn off the podcast. You're not allowed to listen to Mummy's podcast.
She's not interested unless you're on YouTube.
Is she not?
If
Oh,
you're,
really?
If you're on YouTube, she'll be all
Sure.
about it.
Right, okay.
No, she'll
TikTok?
just be like, you're so not cool.
Oh,
No, she's not into TikTok.
good.
So here, I'm ridiculously good at Sudoku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could go pro. Recently looked it up. There is such a thing.
Is there?
Yep.
What, like a competition or something? Or?
Legit, there's a competition.
Oh my god.
That's interesting, isn't it? Okay, so I'm a super toxic person and I love the drama. I live for it. It's my whole life. It's my whole life.
There is no lie there.
That's not, it's the truth. Right. Also, I do not want to meet your mum. I'm not interested.
Not interested remotely.
No.
So, Yeah, so I'm excited because me and Lindsay used to work together in a coffee and donut shop in Scotland, in the UK. Coffee.
Coffee and donuts.
Yeah, and it was a time.
It was the best. It was the time of our lives.
I just noticed the mug you're drinking from as well.
Yeah.
You're like, as you like smash it in your fist.
A disclosed mug.
Yeah, so Lindsay came on board and was working the night shift, and I was working the day shift mostly, but then I'd sometimes do night shifts, and then we'd basically just both scream at each other the whole night, and it was such a good time. It was the
best though.
It was actually the best. So our friendship dynamic is basically kind of like Stevie and David from Schitt's Creek.
Yes.
Like actually, I have to thank you for moaning at me incessantly for months and making me watch Schitt's Creek.
Literally on your case every
Yeah,
day.
you're literally like, you're gonna love this program, you must watch it.
And you were like, yeah, one of those ones.
One of those.
Yeah, I'll watch it. And I was like, no, but seriously, watch the fucking show.
And speaking of Schitt's Creek, we've kind of accidentally gone a little bit viral this week, but in a very niche way, which is the only way that we do it here, because
I'm still the most disappointed in you. I'm the most disappointed.
So the other day I was on the internet and I saw a t-shirt and I was like, that t-shirt's really cool, and it just really spoke to me for some reason, and I wasn't quite sure why, but I was like, I need to buy that t-shirt, and it was very expensive. It was like £200.
You can only justify spending that much because it gave you David vibes.
Exactly. So explain what the t-shirt looks like.
Right, so for all the really cool people out there that have watched Schitt's Creek, it's the white lightning bolt jumper.
It actually is based in reverse though, right? Because
it's an iconic David look. Like that jumper screams David.
I wonder if it's the
So
same
you were
designer.
looking at it thinking, oh, this is so cool because it's giving me David vibes subconsciously.
So imagine like, it's because it's almost like Power Ranger lightning bolts in white on a black background, and they kind of look like, what would you call that thing? Like a bread?
I'm going to tell you what it is.
What?
It's the Son of Moira vibes. That's what it is.
The Son of Moira vibes.
That's what it is.
So anyway, so when I was on a night out in
Rangers.
Glasgow, a literal stranger shouted, David!
Oh, did they not give it a... Ew, David!
No, they just said David, and then I was like, why are they saying that to me? And then I looked down and I was like, oh. And I turned to my friends, I was like, oh my god.
I wish I'd been it. I would have died.
Can
you imagine how it was? Well, I mean, obviously I would have straight away pointed it out to begin
exactly,
with.
I
So I
don't
wouldn't have got to
know.
experience that. Yeah. But imagine me being there when a stranger yelled David at you. I'd be like, yes!
But this is why you go shopping with
so
people, so that they can actually tell you these things. Anyway, so I decided for the banter, I'd post the photo on this fan forum for Schitt's Creek called Schitt's Creek Fans Shoot the Shit. Shit, spelt.
I think they've also got me to thank for that because I think I made you
I know.
join that,
Well, thanks.
that shit too.
It's true. So we're currently sitting at like 306 likes, humble brag.
No, that's so impressive.
But it's really funny because like in the comments people are saying things like, this person here is saying, I call BS on not knowing about the sweater when you bought it. I swear I did not know.
I'm going to get on there and comment and be like, no, this son of a bitch, legit,
Oh my
thinks
god.
he's too cool and that he just discovered this jumper. He is literally
It's so
David's
funny.
twin. There you go.
So
I think you're so original.
I stand by it though. I think it's a cool t-shirt.
No, it is. It
I mean,
always is.
it's not £200.
Because it's
Cool.
I mean, no, that's ridiculous. Like,
That is ridiculous.
how dare you?
So that is how my week's been. How's your week been, Lindsay? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to?
You said you've been working loads, right?
That's all I do. I just work.
Working and dating.
A little bit.
Love it.
When I've got the time, I'm
Yeah.
doing the working.
Have you been eating donuts this week?
No.
Are donuts super triggering for you?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Although, I so much more prefer donuts from a better donut place.
A different donut? No, different.
Cool. Different. Personal opinion. Personal
Have you been to
preference.
Tantrum Donuts yet, actually?
The what?
Tantrum Donuts?
Nope.
Not sponsored, but they do amazing fancy donuts. And as soon as I say that, you're going to be like, I'm not up for that.
Yeah.
Would you like a hibiscus and pistachio donut?
No. Get so far.
You're like, get in the
ridiculous. What's the need?
Yeah, no, delicious though.
Pretentious.
I've had a busy week. I've got a new tattoo.
It's exciting.
It's looking a bit angry, isn't it?
It does, but it's cool.
It's supposed to look angry as well.
Well, that's then mission accomplished.
It's really painful, especially under my armpit, I'm going to be honest.
That's what I can't deal with, is the healing process.
It's when it gets itchy, that's when...
Getting it done, cool. It's the
I know, that's the thing. Some people say it's agony, but I was fine the whole way through it. It's just the last bit when he's doing like the bit just near the armpit. I was like, oh my gosh.
The be brave face, but it's the after. No, it's the after.
The itchiness is what I'm not looking forward to. But that, and also birthday stuff, adventures in Edinburgh. It's been quite the busy week, to be quite honest. But this week, let us do our clarification corner. So the good news is that we don't really have very many clarifications this week, because luckily we were super ignorant about polyamory on last week's episode, and so we basically let the experts do the talking. So we didn't really actually have to say anything that was wrong, as far as I know.
Personally victimise anybody?
Unless perhaps the polyamorous people were too busy having fun and didn't want to listen, and maybe in 2 weeks' time they'll listen and then be like, do you know what, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So then you'll have to do an updated
yeah, we'll find out.
Backtrack clarification course.
I'll just like remove it and then upload another episode
just
in its place.
Dedicate a whole episode to
being clarifying stuff.
Yeah.
Super fun. By the way, side note, it is 11:30. This is probably the latest that we've recorded an episode so far. Basically because we've spent so long just talking about life.
Yeah, because I don't show up. That's
What a time. What a time. Anyway, so before that though, we have a very important message from Chris, who was on last week's episode. He needs you to know specifically the following things. First of all, on Twitter...
It's Jamie Sparks.
It's Jamie Sparks. The question of Glasgow versus Edinburgh, which town has the hottest men? The result was a landslide result.
It was.
I'm just saying the word result quite a lot.
The
there.
result was a landslide result.
And 88.2% of participants said that Glasgow had the hotter men.
I'm not surprised.
Hey-o! So get that round you, Edinburgh.
Agreed.
Get that right round you. And Chris said when we were in Edinburgh, he was like, yeah. I think it's almost
Were you
like...
surprised?
Well, no, I knew... Well, this is the thing, like, I think Edinburgh is quite... This is the most shallow thing that we could possibly talk about right now, is like how hot people are in the city.
Love it.
But, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
I think Edinburgh is full of
You know what?
attractive people.
Prove us wrong. Like,
Prove us wrong, people.
do it. Prove us wrong.
Slide into our DMs. Share us your photos.
Do it.
But fully clothed.
Preferably.
In fact, the more clothed, the better.
Yeah, because we only give a shit about your face.
Yeah.
We're not judging the other parts. We're literally being shallow and caring about the face. For the preference of...
Oh, the podcast.
Yeah, no, the vote.
Oh yeah, okay, back to the vote.
Jesus, stay on topic.
So Edinburgh was really fun and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, like Glasgow is like the kind of cool, edgy one. And like the people showcase that, like even people's like this girl walked past us, and I was like, that right there is Edinburgh, and she just was so cool, really edgy, and didn't care.
But was she also giving off like you're born as fuck vibes?
Yeah.
Whereas Glasgow is wild.
This we saw her. This is the person that we saw in Glasgow, because that was her vibe.
Shit.
No, it was a good thing.
I disagree.
Why? No, I mean, she was wearing like edgy clothes and like, but she wasn't trying to be edgy. She just was edgy.
Oh right, okay.
In a good way.
Okay.
I feel I'm not articulating what.
You're not. The image in my head is just.
And now I'm triggered because I'm having flashbacks to explaining how to make a specific donut and Lindsay disagreeing, even though I'm like, it literally, this is the instructions.
I was 100% right though. Every time.
Every time.
Every time. I got all the votes. You got none of
the
the votes.
votes.
There's a voting system? Rope the other employees into picking a side, and whose side did they pick? It wasn't yours, so just saying.
The memories.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you for your insubordination. It was a thrill.
It was.
It's that's really the fun.
As if I didn't make your day every day.
No, you did. You did. But to be honest, that is the fundamental principle of our friendship.
Yeah.
Is insubordination.
Yes. Just causing riots.
So it really is similar to like David and thingy. Why do I never remember her name?
Stevie.
God. Anyway, back to Chris. So Chris also said that after last week's episode that he has been inspired and is planning to gather, I don't know, take of this what you will, I'm just going to read what he said. He's planning to gather first-hand experience of participating in a poly lifestyle.
Exciting times.
For him. So we'll keep you updated on this story as it develops. I don't know if that means he... maybe we should clarify if he means he's going to identify as poly.
I think he's dipping his toe.
To his toe? Okay.
But here's the other thing.
What?
Good chance he's going to be too busy to be giving you any sort of feedback.
I know, I'll be like, hello, and then like no
It's
response.
Sorry, I'm busy.
Okay, and also I'm going to take a very small sip of water.
I can imagine it'd be time consuming.
What, sipping water?
I wouldn't know.
Well, that's the thing. I think key to being poly would be staying hydrated.
Well, yeah, and also having time. Who's got the time?
Who has the time?
Hard to have time for
But
one.
speaking of time, please book some days off in October because we're going to be doing something exciting. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets to see Rina Sawayama, the pop star, in Glasgow. I don't know if I want to call her a pop star because she's kind of more a musician masquerading as a pop star. We'll go that route.
Badass musician.
Musician.
Well, you say it because I can't.
So keep listening for the rest of the season because we've only got like 3 more episodes after this.
Ooh.
Oh my. And we're gonna...
Is that including that whole clarification episode?
Oh, I know. We might have to say what, like, episode 7 will be just like all clarifications.
Fine, just write a big disclaimer and put it on Twitter.
Okay, so scrolling down, we're now going to get to the meat of this sandwich.
Oh, I like that.
Are you ready?
Metaphor,
I don't know. We're about to find out. So, because on today's episode, we're going to be talking about non-monogamous heterosexuality. But I guess the important part is we need to define. I think most people know what heterosexuality means, but let's unpack it.
Yeah, some people might not.
Take it away.
And not everyone has Google.
It's true.
Haha. No, it's not true.
No, it's true. Some people don't have Google.
Right, well then why they listen to a podcast if they don't even have Google?
Because they've got alternatives.
Oh, behave.
Just government sanctioned ones. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a conversation for off air.
Right,
On you go.
remind me though, because
Okay.
I'm interested. Okay. So the definition is of a person, believe it or not, sexually attracted to people of the opposite sex. This is my favourite part, that it was literally in the definition. I'm a heterosexual white male from a reasonably privileged background. So like,
So,
if you associate with that,
yeah, then congrats.
yeah, like
You are the patriarchy. Well done.
you're one of the chosen ones.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, ironically, that was the dictionary definition as presented by the Cambridge Dictionary.
Yeah,
So take
probably written by a
white man.
reasonably privileged white man.
Yeah, so take of that what you will. Lindsay, to you, what is heterosexuality? Because you identify as hetero, right?
Sure.
You're like, I don't know. Do you identify as heterosexual?
Sure.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Meh?
I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For the most part.
Okay.
Um,
Sarah's not with us tonight to be our resident heterosexual
privileged white male.
privileged white male. We'll maybe dial her in at the end of the episode or something.
Just ask her how she feels about being a privileged white male.
I think it's interesting because, like, what I realised when I was looking at preparing for this episode is, like, I think because I'm, like, a white man, a lot of the times I kind of think I can, like... Well, no, but it's that... Well, I'm definitely privileged, but it's that way where I can... I've always thought, because I'm bisexual, I can, like, see the perspective of a heterosexual person. But the older I've got, I've realised that I don't view anything like a heterosexual person.
No.
So even when I'm, like, looking at relationships and hearing people's... talking about navigating a heterosexual relationship... The older I get, the more I find like I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, ugh, hetero people are so annoying.
They are.
They are annoying though.
They are.
And it's just, yeah, so that's been interesting. I've learned something about myself through preparing for this episode. But the other question is what is monogamy? So monogamy which you pronounce as monogamy,
Monogamy.
is a noun. It's the practice of marrying or state of being married to one person at a time. That's what the dictionary definition is. The practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner. And then an example is younger men were more likely to stray, saying monogamy was outdated. As like that's kind of the context for
I'll be surprised
what it is. Yeah.
that younger men are more likely to stray, saying it's outdated.
I know. Well, to you, Lindsay, what's monogamy?
I'm so shocked.
What does monogamy mean to you?
Well, I mean, just obviously knowing the definition is you're one and only.
Yeah.
Like the soulmate theory.
You're bae. You're before any other.
But I think modern day monogamy is more the soulmate theory.
I just said that wrong. Bae is before everyone
Anyone
else. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Is it?
I don't know.
I'm actually really interested. I knew that.
I think, yeah, for me,
I'm so
monogamy... I think for me, monogamy is like the ideal. I think that's what I'm looking for, ultimately. But I think the journey for that would be a bit more fluid. I'm realising as I get older.
I think it's interesting though, because what does
it mean?
one person
I know.
fit the all?
I know.
Because and today, like, people are more open and they don't just accept things like old-fashioned monogamy as
They
you marry
challenge it.
someone and you stick it out no matter what.
And I feel that's really outdated almost now.
Yeah, no, now people don't tolerate shit.
Because I remember, like, I don't think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I'm a child of divorce. So and when I was growing up, like, my mum was one of the first people of a batch of people in our village to get a divorce.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassing as well.
Really?
Yeah, of course, because, like, my dad
obviously,
owned a
'cause you're
business
fancy.
in, like, in the local area as well, so people knew them. So it was quite...
Literally a scandal.
It was. But now, fast forward,
It's the
and, like,
norm.
my mum's a childminder, and like, it's literally, you're lucky to find a family that hasn't experienced divorce.
It's more rare. Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. It's rarer. I feel like you were saying, that's the goal. Like, monogamy is the goal. I agree, but I think it's so much harder
to get it
to
or
achieve.
find
Like,
it. Yeah, achieve it is the right word, I think. Because even my sister, like, she was saying the other day, like, her and her partner have been married now for 10, 17 years, something like that. And she was saying, like, you know, they're together and they're really a strong unit, but it's been hard.
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, it's been really difficult sometimes, and I think people just see them as this, like, really strong couple, and they don't know that sometimes it is really difficult,
Yeah.
but they persevere through it. So yeah, that's monogamy.
it's almost easier these days to not do it. I feel
True.
like that's the harder, whereas it didn't used to be, I don't think, but I'd say it's harder now
Definitely.
to be content with one person when all the
There's so many options.
the good shit goes as well, like, because there's the
Exactly.
whole good bit.
And then when we were doing research for this episode, one thing kept cropping up, and it's this thing called ethical non-monogamy. So we had a quick look into that, and basically ethical non-monogamy involves sexual and or romantic relationships between multiple people, and the ethical distinguishes it from infidelity or coerced relationships. That sounds horrific. And ethical non-monogamy emphasises that everyone's informed consent is needed, and in other words, all partners know about one another, and they all consent to it. So that kind of follows on from. So in some ways, it's like the opposite of monogamy, but I guess what people would imagine to be the ideal for a non-monogamous situation. Because ultimately, like, when you think of non-monogamy, I think of infidelity, like cheating.
Yeah.
Whereas I think ethical non-monogamy is kind of like positioned as like polyamory almost, in the way that it's like a sustainable option.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think infidelity historically has been proven to be a structure that works for people.
No.
No.
It's kind of. It's almost the have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Very like borderline.
Yes.
But with permission.
Exactly.
Rather
which is
than doing it
interesting.
sneaky. So
we're going to do a deep dive. So this episode is going to be interesting because we did make effort, and I joined internet forums, guys.
yes.
We made effort to touch base with people who are of the non-monogamous persuasion, and
They were all busy.
they're all busy.
They've got too many plates.
Too many plates on
the air or
one
whatever. What is
table.
it?
I don't
What's
know.
it say? It's not on the
They've got
table.
too many donuts.
In the air.
They're juggling too many donuts.
Right, correct that next week. No, we don't know. There's a saying.
They're busy basically.
Yes.
And I thought that was interesting because I kind of think what I'm getting from what I've seen is there's a lot of shame, around about
Yeah.
this subject matter, because it's almost like it's what Chris was saying last week, taboo.
Yeah.
Because
It's like becoming the new norm, but
Yeah.
underground norm.
yeah, which is interesting because if you compare that to like the queer community,
Yeah.
it's vastly different. So let's have a look at some kind of stats to kind of like really get into this. So hold into your hats. We're gonna get some stats. So a quarter, and we're gonna first of all, we're kind of looking at more of an American perspective today, just because that's a lot of the research that kept popping up. So a quarter of Americans are interested in having an open relationship. Now these stats are from YouGov. So take from that what you will. We'll pop some links and stuff in the notes for the show, rather than go through every single resource that we've looked at.
Yes.
That can maybe be read out in a concise list in next week's episode in the clarification corner. But here we go. A YouGov poll of more than 23,000 Americans found that about a quarter say they'd be interested in having an open relationship. So of the people that they surveyed, a quarter were up for having an open relationship. Does that surprise you? Doesn't really surprise me.
No, I think it's probably more than that, and that's just the people that just were saying honest
Interested.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, because this is the thing, like...
Or they could potentially already be doing it privately.
Yeah, but the way I look at it, like, if they're interested in something, it doesn't mean you're going to do it. There's loads of things I'm interested in, but I'm not going to do them all.
Yeah, true story. There's also, though, there's a lot of times where, see, if someone approached me for their survey, I'm not telling them shit. It's none of the business.
I thought you were going to go into a metaphor. I thought you were going to talk about one thing there, but actually be talking about a different thing.
Okay.
If someone approached you for, like, a really good survey, and...
I'd be like, I'm game. No.
You're like, ask me every question, baby. Start from the beginning.
I'd be like, why you need to know so bad? Like, and they're like, oh, it's just for a survey.
Oh my god, imagine that someone's kink is doing surveys.
Imagine.
They would like work for the census.
I've
Like,
just ruined their day. Like,
you're like,
or
no.
maybe they love the
slam it.
challenge. That's it. I'm now the love of their life. Like,
Okay, so of the people surveyed, 32% who were male said they were more likely to be interested in a non-monogamous relationship. Wait,
not surprised.
that made no sense. So 32% of the males and 90% of the females said they'd be interested in non-monogamous. That doesn't surprise me. Does that surprise you?
Not surprised. I think that men are 100% going to be more likely.
Yeah, because men are generally more highly sexed.
Right.
Some would say.
But also comes back to what we had spoke about earlier about how
depending on
it'll be a one-way situation.
situations.
They want to have numerous relationships. Like,
But
if
you
they're very
can't.
one-sided.
Got you.
I think that's what they men are signing themselves up for in that survey.
Oofed. Okay.
Could be wrong.
Could be.
You know what?
Also,
Men. Which I'm not hating.
do you want to read the next
Live your
bit?
lives. Among married couples, this is also the case. 30% of the husbands would be interested, while fewer wives, only 21%, feel similar. How do you say that word?
Similarly.
There we go.
So, I mean, that doesn't surprise me either.
Again, yeah.
But this is the thing though, right? Like,
Although married women were higher than non-married women when surveyed, so that's interesting.
Not
Everybody's fucking miserable.
well, probably because they're not shagging.
Yeah. Scott and Bowden.
I feel... See, it doesn't surprise me... In the context of marriage, it doesn't surprise me because I get that when you're with one person... Like, my longest relationship is 2.5 years, which we all were laughing about the other day because that's hilarious that I'm 37 and my longest relationship is 2.5 years. Like, see, and that's again going back to that thing I was saying earlier, is like, when people say they've been, like, with their partner for, like, 10 years, I'm like... Why?
Who are these people?
Yeah, like...
Who are they?
They must be very impressive for you to stay with them for that long.
That is definitely the reason.
So I get, in the context of marriage, I get why people would, like, shut it down.
I don't know though, do you know what else?
Not shut it down, open it up, sorry.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot to do with, though, the idea sounds exciting, but would they follow through? Yeah.
And that's kind of what we saw in that programme we watched.
Yeah, because the jealousy aspect, because you think it's going to be all hot and amazing, but, or are you just going to be jealous? Like...
Yeah, so earlier today we watched an episode of In the Name of Research of Open House, The Great Sex Experiment on Channel 4, which is a UK TV channel. And yeah, it's kind of a funny programme because it's like as I said last week, it's in the format of a game show almost, but it's actually quite a good science experiment to kind of see if these couples can actually function by opening up their relationship. And they've got like a sex therapist and stuff as well, so it's like...
Yeah, they're not just left unattended.
Yeah, it's like as legit as it kind of could be, I guess. Okay, so moving on. So interestingly, millennials kind of tended to be the most interested in open relationships. So that's... Out of all the groups that were surveyed, it was more millennials, not younger people or not older people. So that, I think... Well, what did you think about that?
I think it's the vibe of just open-mindedness now. I think that it's more acceptable to just be who you want to be now. I think people have more confidence. I don't know if this is the part that's relevant to the point I made earlier about you will get some people that just are being their true, authentic selves.
Yeah.
But then you get some people that are just being posers because it's cool.
Because they think it's cool.
To be different.
True.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah, because I get you. Because like I'm sure there's some people listening who are like, "What are you talking about?" But when we watched that program, I could see what you're meaning.
Yeah.
Because it's like people who are like
just think it's going to make them look really awesome.
Doing it for the stats. Doing it for the gram.
Doing it
for the gram. Or for the OnlyFans, more to the point.
For the only, I mean, 100% they were.
I think, again, it does surprise me though, because like, I don't know why. In my mind, I always think of like non-monogamy as like older generations. And I think that was the case maybe like 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I think you're right. Now it's different. Like, I think because, especially with the pandemic and stuff like that, that's definitely shifted relationship dynamics. With our research, we didn't focus a lot on the pandemic because I think it's going to be more interesting in a good few years later to look at that kind of stuff, because emerging trends and things, I get that it would be interesting, but I kind of wanted to look more at the broader thing rather than narrow in on like this thing that happened to everyone that has changed everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this has been something...
Also, is everyone not just kind of...
Over the pandemic.
No one cares anymore.
And also I feel like...
Do you care?
No. Well, yeah, I care. Like, I want life to go back to normal, but...
You're lying. I want to go back in a lockdown.
Actually, I do miss being drunk. That was really fun.
I bet you do.
I feel like the non-monogamy thing for heterosexual people... Well, tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like the non-monogamy thing for heterosexual people isn't just because of the pandemic. Because I think sometimes people think it's because of the pandemic. But
no, I don't think I have anything to do with the pandemic.
I could see things shifting and changing when I was doing youth work, and I saw like young people were more open in their sexuality and like talking about being bisexual or gay and all this kind of stuff when they're 15.
Yeah.
Whereas like that's so different from my high school experience. Like someone came out gay and they were the only person that came out as gay in like 6th year, I think it was. And that was the first person in that school to ever come out as gay, and it wasn't me, so I know. But things have changed so much, so like I could see it starting to shift and change. I think obviously maybe the pandemic was a tipping point.
I don't think the pandemic had any effect
really
on it at all. Like,
how not?
I think people are giving the pandemic too much credit, man. Like, it just did it change all your lives all that much?
Well, do you know what we'll do? Well, for Clarification Corner next week, I'll do a teeny bit of research just to see if there is, because there probably is a couple of studies that have been done. But I think my query is though is like how thorough are those studies going to be?
Here's the other thing. You know me, I'm just a bit of an asshole. So the pandemic didn't personally affect me.
That's true, yes.
I loved it. I'm a rare one in that aspect. Everyone else hated it. I either got super creative, super depressed, either or. I was just in the middle. I didn't really give a shit. Loved not leaving the house. It's my favourite.
So we might edit this part out, but
that's fair.
No, this part I'm about to say.
But, okay.
but in saying that, did your relationship dynamic change?
He would sleep all day
during the pandemic.
I would do homeschooling, and then he would stay up all night. We just did not speak to him. We did not communicate.
But I wonder that there must be loads of people that had the same experience though.
Probably.
And then for those people, maybe that's where the tipping point happened. Unless maybe all it is that those changes were already happening, and now because of the pandemic, people are actually talking about it. The fact that those relationship dynamics are shifting and changing.
No, grass is greener, right? So my issue is there was a lot of people out there that were isolating on their own, and they were super sad about it.
I was having the time of my life. No, I'm not going to say that. No. I was about to say that thing I said earlier.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I would have loved to have isolated on my own.
Oh, mate.
Fucking, that's my dream. Leave me alone. Don't fucking want things from me. Like.
Well, who knows what the future may hold. Anyway.
I know. Can't wait to be an old lady and everyone just fucks off and doesn't speak to me. That's my dream.
No, I mean in terms of like lockdown restrictions, like 2 weeks time, it would be like, and now monkeypox or whatever it's called. What's it called?
It is monkeypox.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but it's not like, it's basically like chickenpox but extreme.
In your bits.
Lovely. I mean, not at all, because the picture is disgusting. But
ew, have you looked at the pictures?
No, they're on the news.
Oh.
Not of people's monkey bits. Like, no. With my job now, though, I don't get to go into
people's monkey bits.
Isolation. Right, stop. No, I don't get to go into isolation anymore, so that kind of sucks. Because obviously, when we worked together previously, it was full ass lockdown. It was awesome.
It was.
We got paid to do fuck all. It was great.
I have to say, wait, are you kidding me?
We didn't even have to do.
Oh no, wait, actually,
we didn't have to even do team meetings.
That's true, actually.
On Zoom and all that bullshit. Like,
it was actual.
We didn't communicate with each other if we didn't want to. It was great.
Yeah, we actually had like.
I wonder, did any of you bug me?
Bug you?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, annoying
microphone
with your
with
your polite check-ins.
I thought you meant with microphones. I was like, like the place we worked did not have the budgets for bugs.
we should have bugged that. That would have been amazing.
I don't know. I feel like
I didn't really make friends with a lot of people until after the lockdown.
This is the thing, though, actually.
Because I didn't speak to half the staff until after.
The
lockdown,
yeah.
And then I kind of made more friends.
But this is the thing. Like, some people listen to this podcast.
Can I clarify? It was our choice.
Yeah. Some people.
I'm not a sad sack.
Some people who listen to the podcast are from Canada and America, and so this is interesting because like you and I are talking from a perspective of two people who were working for a franchise who worked in conjunction with the government to give us furlough, which meant that we could like basically have time off work. And you're right, like in our situation we didn't have to work remotely.
Yeah, we just
I literally just baked.
I done homeschooling.
Yeah. Oh.
And
how was that?
Personally hate Joe Wicks.
I hate Joe. Joe Wicks.
It was too much for me. No, homeschooling was awesome.
Good hair.
Again, super rare. I loved it. Everyone else hated it. And I mean, I spoke to a lot of mums that absolutely hated it. It was awesome for me.
So yeah, for Clarification Corner next week, we'll tap back into this like non-monogamous from the perspective of the pandemic, just to see if there's a couple of studies, but I don't know, it'd be interesting. I'm just always a little bit
there
dubious.
will be studies because they've nothing else to do. Like, so.
Because I prefer studies when it's like not an emerging trend, because like you can't really research it properly. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't know. We'll have a look though. Okay, so when researching for this episode, as we've mentioned, I tried to frequent some online places where
Lindsay is their site where people meet each other.
Lindsay.
Oh my gosh! Wait.
No, I don't like it. Don't do it again.
No, hang on, wait. Is it gonna work? Hang on.
At it's Jamie Sparks.
Hey.
Amazing. See if you'd figured this out at the start.
I
This could have been
know.
our third member.
Oh my god, that would have been so funny.
That would have been so funny.
Wait. Hang on.
I'm Sarah. I'm a 30-something Glasgow Art School graduate and mother to 2 ragdoll kittens. I'm also the token straight person for this podcast series. Andy Warhol is my daddy, and I once danced with Kate Moss in the pale moonlight.
Why did she say it?
Graduate.
Why did she say it like that?
What is it? What is graduate?
Graduate.
What's the word supposed to be?
Graduate.
Amazing. You
Graduate.
misspelled it.
Graduate.
Did I graduate? Oh no, wait, I did spell. Oh no.
Have you?
I think so.
Amazing.
Flamboyantly.
Oh, even better.
Anywho,
Did she really dance with Kate Moss?
she did. She met her.
Okay,
Sarah has the weirdest life, I swear.
that's exciting.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
So when researching for this episode, I,
Jamie.
as we have discussed,
Put in all the effort.
I didn't frequent, I just dived onto a website where adults...
Jamie put in so much effort
Adults
that he can't
meet-
string his sentences together anymore.
I'm just trying to basically I joined a website to try and see if any non-monogamous... I joined a swingers website.
Yeah, just say it how it is.
And I just to see
Tell your
if
truth.
any of these is not my truth. I'm not a swinger. Are you kidding? Imagine me swinging. I'd be like, "Have you sanitized your hands?"
Could you imagine? You'd actually be.
I'd lose my mind.
Oh,
I'd be like, "Have you had an SCI checkup? Have you done your teeth?"
yeah, you'd kill the vibe. Aye.
No. Do you know what kills the vibe? Bad breath and an SCI.
I hear you, but your standards would be.
I know.
Amazing.
Exceptionally high.
I mean, unless there was just a whole room of OCD
Models.
sanitized
Sanitize models.
swingers. You should start a website saying sanitized swingers,
Sanitize this.
and it's just that you just roll around in the
It's
sanitizer.
sanitizer. Lindsay, this is getting filthy.
But in a super clean, hygienic way. So
The
you're welcome.
only way.
That's your ultimate dream. You're welcome.
Oh my god, this is getting steamy. This is not appropriate. We're gonna get taken down off of Apple Podcasts. Okay, anyway, talking of OkCupid, OkCupid has more than 2.5 million monthly users.
That's a hell of a lot.
That's
So
crazy.
who are you still single? Not you. Not you personally.
But just how are people still single?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's interesting,
How you got
actually.
literal millions, plural,
And then nobody can still find each other.
and you still hate each other. Everyone hates
How
everyone.
odd. So the average age of the registered member hovers somewhere about 32 years old.
That's where the issue is.
In what way?
Standards are too high.
Because they're 32.
Well, yeah, the guys are probably looking for younger girls, and they're like, No
and
thanks,
they're not
I have a dad.
younger. Because they like a literal dad or a sex.
no, literal dad. They're
Okay.
they're not into that yet
Because they literally have their dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're going to have the women that want to grown up.
Yeah. So
'Cause not judging, but
yeah.
I'd say the majority probably have a child,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need a one night stand nonsense.
It's true. They
They're
need
looking
stability.
for a new dad for their kids.
So really, everyone's looking for everyone's looking in the
For
same
what
place.
is not yeah
for the wrong
opposite
thing.
Shit, yeah.
That's problematic, isn't it?
Yeah, but also what a great way to make money for the
I know.
OkCupid, by the way.
Just make an
Clever.
algorithm. Boom.
Yeah.
Problematic. I actually tried a while back. I tried Facebook dating for science.
Oh, I actually didn't know this was a thing. So I seen this. What is it like? Does it show you people that you already know on your Facebook?
It shows you people. I could see how it'd be beneficial for someone who uses Facebook.
Would it be
like
beneficial
a
for
normal
like a
person?
teenager?
No, definitely not. Because
okay.
teenagers don't use Facebook.
Oh shit.
So it's literally people in maybe the latter half of their 30s and upwards, really, I think. Because they still use Facebook as a major platform. And so because of that, it means the algorithm will be really like on point to know them.
Okay.
And profile them, basically. So technically you could meet someone really easily with the same interests as you. But for someone like me who does not engage in Facebook for anything other than shameless promotions,
yeah.
and just to keep in touch with people every so often,
It's almost attracting the wrong...
Yeah, it didn't really...
I hear you.
So that's interesting. So yeah, I think maybe somewhere out there is a dating algorithm that will be as successful as some of the music streaming platforms are at knowing us. But I'm not convinced it's there yet, because clearly it's not working, online dating. Prove me wrong. If you've had an online dating experience that's gone so well that you're now married to them or in a long-term committed relationship, please by all means tweet me or Facebook me or Instagram me and let me know, because like...
Jamie, they exist. You get people that tell the cringy stories.
We met on Hinge.
Yeah, it's almost like an embarrassing,
like a
fun story. Like,
yeah.
Because it's the common thing these days. I mean,
I know, but like
I just have the absolute fear
that they're a psycho.
they're going to just murder me. Like,
Well, none of my exes have proven me wrong.
Exactly. I just don't have the time to get murdered. It would be so inconvenient.
Here's the thing though, right? So part of my thing for online dating, this is a bit of a tangent, but I feel like, especially back in the day when I was doing radio stuff, I utilized online dating as a kind of like, and I know a lot of people do this, like they utilize it as a way of efficiently dating, because it means you can like weed them out. But
I just don't have time.
Even with that, they still slip through the net.
No, see, I thought it would be so much fun.
Really?
I did.
Oh wait, yeah, because you've just recently delved back in, yeah.
Like,
and has it
it
been
was fun for like 5 minutes.
And
Literally.
if you had like
The
3
chat
words,
was fun.
if you had 3 words to describe what online dating is like, coming from a fresh perspective, what would that be?
Alright, just for me personally, except I'm busy. Like, I'm not like 14.
No.
I don't have time to be on my phone all day.
If you could sum up to someone like an alien what online dating is like for you in 3 words, what would it be?
It's the equivalent to like watching Family Guy at night. Like, it's fun, but you know, like, you don't need to watch Family Guy during the day.
Yeah, so it's fun but not sustainable.
Yeah, like, see when you're bored, like, so see if, like, you know, some people just scroll through Instagram. Like, it's good for that. And do you know what? For me, it was an ego boost. Like, I'll say that it was. I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
But pet peeve. My hair's real. Why do you care?
What? People ask you if your hair's real?
Yeah, that is the most common question I've got.
What? Because it's long?
Because it's long.
Oh right, because they think it's extensions.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
But also, like, one, it's real. But more importantly,
Why
do you care?
Yeah, more importantly, mind your business.
Yeah, but also, just, why do you care? No! Do you know what dating... Right, I'm summing up dating sites, right? I fucking hate it.
Why?
I don't care how tall you are. I don't give a shit. Why you care how tall I am? Like, why is that a thing?
I think...
I don't care. Do you want to know why? Because I don't know how tall I am.
Do you know, it's funny, like, I don't ever ask how tall someone is. I can usually work it out by their photos.
I just don't give a shit, Jamie. I don't care.
I
still don't...
I'm trying to think,
always
though, like...
fully acknowledge your height. You're very tall.
I'm trying to think, though, what questions people ask me the most, but...
Oh, here's my second
What?
thing I hate.
What?
Stop with the dog pictures. Stop.
What? Do you find... What, they send you the pictures of the dog?
No, but it's on all their profiles. They, like, drag with their dog. What is
Like,
this?
It's a strategy, though.
I hear you. I'm allergic to dogs. I don't give a shit about your dog.
What if they put a picture of their cat?
I'm still allergic. I don't... Why you need to have pictures of your pet on your profile?
Well, it's to show that they're empathetic and caring and nurturing.
Manipulative, that's what that is.
That is what that's the whole nature of
But
online dating.
this is what dating sites are, right? So for anyone who hasn't experienced them, it's height, pets.
Hiking. Everyone loves to hike, apparently.
Shit, the gym. Ugh.
Yeah, see if someone says, if they refer to themselves as a gym bunny,
It's
I'm
the
like,
gym pictures
I'm not
as well.
interested.
No,
What?
it's not. It's gym rat. It's gym
Gym
rat.
rat, yeah.
Oh,
It's so
no.
But what I
Had
appreciate,
enough.
my favourite thing is when, for a guy or a girl, is they just say a sport that they love, and then you go into the Instagram, and then you're like, oh damn. When you can tell that they look after themselves, but they
Okay.
don't make it a thing.
Okay, yeah. So the
Yeah.
shirtless pictures and all that.
Well, but not in like a kind of like I'm standing in the gym, topless kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know my, not right? Oh, that's just reminded me.
Because that triggers me, especially in a climbing gym.
This is one of my toxic
Embarrassing.
traits, right?
What?
See when you're on these sites and a profile comes up and it's all blank.
I know.
And you don't know who it is.
It happens all the
Oh,
time.
I want to know so bad.
But that's the thing. Like,
It's never worth it. It's never worth it.
Why? What have you talked to them?
Yes.
What do they say?
Well, some of them are just insane. But then someone will send you a picture and you're just like, why are you just not being your actual self? Like,
So they send pictures of
no,
what?
it's the mystery of it. I just, you know me. I
Well,
need to know things.
Because I go past them quite often on like Tinder,
but
and
you're
I'm
just
like,
oh,
what are you
why? Like, what's the deal here?
it's weird, isn't it?
It's fucked up.
Well,
Also, it's attention seeking.
so yeah, we've kind of explored non-monogamy to a degree, I guess. But I guess the question is I feel like it's difficult to really talk about it without getting someone's perspective who lives that lifestyle. So
Yeah, agreed.
hopefully between now and me uploading this, that someone will have actually responded. In fact, you know what? Let's have a quick look. Avert your eyes for 2 small seconds, Lindsay, right?
Okay.
Just whilst I log into this. I don't want you to see anything crazy. Okay. Let's see.
No need to look.
No, nobody's responded. That's really sad.
That is sad.
Okay. So, but my question in conclusion is, could we ever participate in a non-monogamous heterosexual relationship? So, I'll go first.
Okay.
Because obviously I'm bisexual, so no. This is my answer. Could I participate in a non-monogamous relationship? I think I could. But I think going off of what we were talking about last week and this week, it would require transparency and honesty and a whole lot of love. Because I don't think I'd do that relationship context with someone that I wasn't there for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you don't already have like a solid
Connection.
bond, yeah.
But no, I don't foresee that I'm going to be coming out as heterosexual anytime soon. Even if I was to marry a woman, I would still be bisexual.
But yeah, that wouldn't be unheard of either. Like that would
Exactly.
be, I would say that's relatively
A thing now.
yeah, quite run of the mill.
Yeah. And so what about you then?
Right, so the specific question.
The question was, could you ever participate in a non-monogamous heterosexual relationship?
So, in the past, I've made like numerous comments about sister wives.
Sister wives.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in that aspect, I could see how it would work.
Okay.
I think sometimes
What do you mean by sister wife?
someone to just come in and put up with that shit so that I don't have to.
So literally like almost like in a religious setup?
Well, I just call them sister because that show, Sister Wives. So
Explain.
it'd be like one guy and he'd have numerous wives.
So that sounds like toxic masculinity's dream.
Oh, it is. It's horrific. But I mean, live your life. But it's no.
Live your
it's,
truth.
It's ridiculous. But if it works for them, it's not ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, like, but it's just that it's a bit much. So yeah, I've made jokes in the past. I could see how it would would have made my life a lot easier
Sure.
then. But no, I don't know. It's one of them. It's all fine and well to go. Yeah, I would give it a bash and all that. I don't know. I don't think I would.
Yeah. You strike me as
I talk too much. Like, do you think I want to be listening to someone else's opinion? Like, No,
Yeah.
I'm going to want to be the favourite.
But also, I
Like-
think it's more complex for you as well because you have a child.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
So that's another thing. Like, see, how would people who have children go about this scene?
Exactly.
Because if you're meeting numerous people, like, again, live your life, but then it's going to come to a point where you introduce those people to your children if
And
they're
how do
really
you do that? Yeah.
a part of your life. And then, not that anyone should judge anyone, but then you're also putting your kid in a position where they have then stepmoms or dads, plural, and they have to explain that as their normal. I'm not saying you shouldn't live your life just because
No, of course not.
the world,
But-
but if you're not set, if you're not sure, ideally you wouldn't be bringing people in and out the kid's life.
Yeah. It's
So-
it's definitely more complex.
Because it's even tricky just when you're just
Yeah.
in a one-on-one
Dating.
relationship, introducing people to your children is already like tricky.
Because it adds another layer of vetting. Because obviously when you've got a kid as well, you have to be really mindful of like who comes in and out their life as well basically.
So we won't even get into those stories.
I know, right?
Because holy shit.
I know, right? So, yeah, complex.
Yeah, but here, parents, do a better job.
Yeah.
Vet it out. No, I was going to say no judgment.
No, some
Slight
judgment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slight judgment.
But then again, the thing is that I feel
You can never check too many times. If they're good, they'll understand. They won't care. You can never be too careful.
I just wish I could pay someone to do background checks.
No, apparently it's actually ridiculously easy.
Oh, you could though, actually, couldn't you? Because
No,
you could
apparently it's
just pay for
ridiculously
like
easy.
you could just pay for a private investigator. Wait, that's a bad
No,
relationship
you can
present.
just go to the police station and legit ask. You can
Oh
just,
yeah, because you're in a relationship with them, so then you can ask if they've got a prior record.
even if you're not, you can no, but I found this out. You can actually just go and request it.
Where?
But that's why also,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, it's
Uh-oh.
important to report incidents, because if you let it go, then there's no record for the next person.
Oh no.
Dun dun dun.
Dum dum dum. Good to know.
Sadness.
Well, what I would say though is when it comes to dating, as we always say, don't Google them because they might be a social media marketer. Everything you find online might be a fabrication. Although, really, what we've said a minute ago contradicts that because you should Google them. You should be more.
Do it. Google them.
Google them, Bing them, get in about it. I don't know. Well, actually, do you know what I might do? I'm going to do another Twitter poll. I'm going to ask people if they actually research people before they go on a date. Because I'm going to be really honest, I specifically make effort not to because I want to learn about that person then and there. I want to speak to them face to face to see their facial reactions and stuff. And also, but what I have learned though is that I need to switch up. Is I want to meet people's friends and family a lot earlier. That's what I've learned the hard way.
Shit, I don't want to.
No, but it's a good way because you can
I hear
see
you, but
how
I just don't, Jamie. I just don't want to.
you just don't want to meet their mom.
Just don't want to.
You don't want to.
Like, I don't have the time to entertain your friends. I just don't.
But speaking of social media,
At It's Jamie Sparks.
There we go. Yes. So, follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
And
At It's
Twitter.
Jamie Sparks. Next week's episode is on
been
sexual
replaced.
health.
I've been replaced.
being replaced by a robot.
I was hissing too much. I wasn't being focused. It's fair enough. I accept it, the demotion.
So yeah. So next week we're going to be doing it on sexual health. That's right. We're going on a trip to Glasgow's sexual health clinic, the Sanderford. Everyone in Glasgow who's listening to this podcast right now is going, what are you doing?
The barfing in the mouth.
They're like, oh no, anxiety.
I know.
How many
Because you
sexual
hear that and you go like, oh.
Yeah, you immediately get like cold sweats.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's like a bad word, isn't it? Like
It is. It's weird though.
it's like you would whisper it. You'd be like, Sanderford.
The Sandford. Do you know what I've noticed though? Is like, and this will be something that we're gonna definitely delve into in this episode coming up next week, is the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community's integration of sexual health services in their lives versus other sexual identities. Because in the conversations I've had over the past couple of months with heteronormative people regarding like heterosexual straight people regarding sexual health services is vastly different to the gay community.
Right, give us
some clarity.
Yeah.
And we'll next week.
Oh right, shit.
We'll talk about it next
Okay,
week.
well, now we're going to tune in. Will you tell me stuff?
Yeah.
Good. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. So we're basically going. It's not gonna be like. It's not gonna be like a preachy episode. It's not about that, and it's also not gonna be a scandalous episode because we do not have time for that. But what it is gonna be about is basically just. It's gonna be about discussing sexual health. We're gonna be looking at PrEP, the medication, and we're going to be speaking to experts that will help us live happier, healthier lives. So the plan, I'm hoping, is that we're actually going to get someone from the Sandford to actually interview, is the goal. So fingers crossed with that, but we're going to do our best. As ever, if we have made any mistakes, let us know.
I don't care.
Liz is like, see you next season, bye.
I'm not sorry.
We're not sorry, just don't date us. Bye.